But yeah,
Should I do my Titanic story?
the which one?
The icebreaker?
The icebreaker.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
I tried to do it. I did it the last one for Narnia. I've started a Titanic story at the start, so an icebreaker to help the flow of conversation.
Well,
It's usually just about Wham.
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask you. Did you do you have any like whammables?
Oh
Like,
yes.
Do you have
yes.
whammies?
Oh,
Look at that.
we can just call it whammies.
The
now.
whammies.
You have any whammies for us? Yeah, he got drunk in work and drove home, and we ripped into him because
he underage.
That is a
drank at work.
Yes, because
That doesn't have the proper liquor license.
The place doesn't have a full liquor license, no, just beer and wine. And then they bought vodka for a special event. And he just, as a joke, drinking like a soda behind the cash register, was like, "Oh, can you top me off?" Just as a joke. And the guy and the owner was like, "Yeah, sure.
Great
Just don't tell anyone." And when I met him, he was like, "Yeah, I've been drinking since 6:30," and it was like midnight. And I was like, "Dude," and he was just, you know, when you're 19 and you're drunk and you think you're the coolest.
Oh, you are the coolest when you're 19 and drunk.
Yeah. That's what he was like, and we were like, "Dude, you should have just we would have picked you up. You should have just." Oh, but how am I going to get my car in the morning? Well, like
You would either Uber to learn your fucking
car.
lesson.
Yeah.
See, I heard
He saw Suicide Squad because he has no concept.
He got drunk and saw Suicide Squad.
No, he saw it before he was drunk. He has no concept of downloading movies or watching anything online. So he spent $20 on his PlayStation to buy the extended cut. That film is not worth $20.
I just borrowed that the other day.
Borrowed?
Yeah. I think that's what we're gonna say. Like, if we watch a video, like right now, I'm borrowing the Aliens quadruplogy, whatever. I don't know how many there are, but I'm borrowing that right now.
There's 4 official Alien titles.
Well, there's 4 official and then like a one-off, right?
Prometheus
isn't a one-off. That I would think that would be canon-ish. No.
He said it's not, but it.
Oh no!
Come on, what?
Well, I don't know.
How is it not?
I don't fucking pay attention to that shit. I haven't even.
I
seen
fell
one
asleep during it, and a friend of mine, a real big sci-fi friend of mine, got really mad at me for falling asleep. But he's like, "You fell asleep?" I was like, "Yeah." And all of a sudden, they were in space, and Idris Elba was just like, "Oh, I'm in space. I am." The black English guy.
I'm in space. I am.
Yeah.
Jesus.
No. So he saw Suicide Squad, and he was like, "Oh, it's the best. It's the best superhero movie yet." And I was like, I'm gonna let you have it. But
wait, so he had never seen Suicide Squad?
No, because he was mad at me for not taking him with.
Oh, was that the thing he got all boo boo about?
No, well, one of many things. God, if my girlfriend or anyone else I know who is related to Zach hears this podcast,
well, I mean, fuck it. Like, I mean,
I said his name. Crap.
Wham. I mean, to me, the reality is if he hears it and he's like, "Oh, Robert said I got boo boo about it," or "You said that I got butthurt about it," it's
we could have him on.
It's like
explain himself.
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, if you like, who gives a shit? Like, it's not like we're sitting here just like, this fool is a little bitch and he's fucking he whatever. Like we're not talking shit on him. Like, he got butthurt, whatever.
No, so he saw Suicide Squad. He really liked it. I do remember him saying before he saw it that he was like, "Oh, it looks really good. I think it's going to probably be my favorite." Like, he went in positive, even though that trailer is really good. That like, it's been known that the trailer of that movie is a really good trailer. Like, the editing is done really well. The rock and roll music that you got pretty butthurt about.
It wasn't getting butthurt about it. All DC does is just smash fucking rock music in there for no reason. Like, I don't think there was more than like 5 minutes without some fucking song in the background.
Yeah, they really. I don't know. I did not like it, and usually it takes me a night to sleep on it. I saw it because it came out Thursday night, midnight showing. I saw the first showing on a Friday morning. Me, my girlfriend, and a friend of ours, and we went in, and we left, and our friend went to the bathroom, and my girlfriend just went, "So what you think?" And I was like, "Bollocks." It was awful.
Fuck yeah, it was.
There was a couple of things I liked about it, but not enough to keep it afloat.
Fuck no. I didn't go with you to see that, did I?
No.
What was I doing? Why didn't I make it to that blessed event?
I don't know. This was too long ago to care about that. But Wham didn't go with us, and he was mad that we didn't invite him. We did invite him. He had to work. He doesn't remember that.
He thinks that you guys were just being dicks.
I don't know. Apparently, we have to invite our adopted son everywhere we go now.
Well, you have to. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He's lost in life.
Yeah. What you gonna do? So, did you watch History of Trunks? Is this gonna be one that you watch or not watch halfway through again?
I've watched it like 6 times.
You watched it 6 times?
Well, I mean, it was on 6 different times. I don't know. Am I making a bunch? I think I'm making a bunch of noise. Hold on. I keep elbowing this fucking thing for some god awful reason. Okay.
So are you saying you've seen it 6 times in your life, or you've seen it 6 times since last week we were talking about it?
I've had it on about 8 times.
Wow.
Well, because what I do is, like, I wasn't in the mood to sit down and just stare at it and, like, pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
So I had it on while I played Mega Man.
Oh.
Because I'm almost done with it. Okay? I'm at Mega Man 6. I'm halfway through Wily's Castle. So I'm almost done with that game.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what game I'm going to be playing after that. But I'm almost done with it. So I was like, okay, well, let me throw on some Trunks. Let me get it in the background.
Yeah.
Because sometimes that helps out. Sometimes if I play it or if I'm playing something while watching or while having another movie on, I hear things and then I want to understand those, which makes me want to pay attention more.
Yeah.
So I heard some things. I was like, okay, what the fuck's going on here? Oh,
yeah.
And then watching it back, I'm like, oh, I remember that part. And then there were a couple times where I watched it and got like 15 minutes until the end, and then like a friend came over, or I just got sidetracked, or it was time to go to work, or some shit.
I have seen it once before. When I realized when I was watching, I was like, yeah, I've seen this. I've seen this once before. I knew I have. I couldn't remember where, like when in my life I've seen it, because I've seen a few of them. And then I watched it last night because I just woke up. As I said, I couldn't sleep last night, and I said I was planning on watching it today before I came here to keep it fresh. But I was like, yeah, I'll just watch it now. And I watched it. It's what it clocks in at 50 minutes.
Yeah, if you watch the one that has like 12 minutes of just the opening song that plays like 4 times over.
I have it written down. The intro clocks in at 1 minute and 53 seconds. Much like most Dragon Ball Z intros.
Is it? Well, there's one that literally repeats like 4 times. Like for some reason, whoever recorded it or uploaded that, they were just like,
the intro
do it again
4 times?
Do it again. Oh. I don't fucking know why. It doesn't make any sense.
Before we get into it, when did you first start watching Dragon Ball Z? Are you a Dragon Ball Z fan, first of all?
You know what? Fuck. When did I first watch it? It was... Wow, how long ago was it? I think I watched it before I realized it was on like Toonami or...
I watched it on Toonami, but it was the Irish version of Toonami, which I don't think is much different. It's just...
What channel was that, though?
Toonami?
You watched it Ireland?
I watched... Well, England and Ireland share the same broadcast. So I watched it on the English version of Toonami. It's same company, but they were like, cool, we need to change up the format a little bit.
It was...
because commercials are different over...
I want to say it was like an Adult Swim.
Okay.
Like before they got all wild with all their shit. Yeah. Because I was watching... let me say this too. After watching it last night, like I watched... It's stupid. I started it in the daytime because I was off yesterday.
Yeah.
And then that's when Siobhan came over, and I was like, kind of paying attention to it. Then I ended up watching Finding Dory with her. And then after she left, I was like, I'm going to blaze through this, take my note. Because I took like semi-notes.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, this is the halfway point. This is where I remember. This matches up with what I was writing down. So let me go from here out.
Yeah.
So I did that, and I was like, wait a minute. I know Trunks was in the show before.
Yeah.
So I went and I borrowed all the seasons and started with the androids. So I didn't complete the android saga. I stopped.
Did you get to the episode where Frieza comes back and then that's and Future Trunks?
Yeah. I got through all that, and right now they just went somewhere to go fight, and I think they're just noticing that Goku has got cancer or whatever.
I would really, after watching the movie, I would really like to go back, watching that movie first, and then watching everything from Trunks' perspective, since the movie was probably released after, or at least I saw the movie after. Mm. But I thought that would have been pretty badass.
Right, and that's what I'm doing. I was like, I want to see whatever, because I had to text Albert, which I would like to at some point, if we can do like Dragon Ball movies, because Albert's Dragon Ball nuts.
Great.
So I asked him about it, and I told him maybe I'd patch him in if he was cool with it. But obviously not today.
Hey, there's plenty of other ones out there.
But what did he tell me? I asked him something. Let me see. Because it didn't make sense to me. Also because I watched it. I'm semi-familiar with it.
Was it about the sword?
Oh, no. I don't know what's going on with the sword. The sword doesn't make sense to me. I don't know where the fuck it came from, why he has it.
We'll get there.
Okay, so my text to him was, how accurate is the history of Trunks movie? And that's very loosely put. Like, yeah, it's not like some other company.
It's an open-ended question.
Yeah, it's not like some other company made it. But I've known the guy since ninth grade.
Is it canon?
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I knew it was canon.
I think it's canon, yeah.
But it's like, so I asked him, I was like, hey, he says, it's accurate. It's based on the alternate future if Goku would have died from his heart disease. Yeah. In which case, Trunks ends up being the last scene. Yeah. So when I was watching it, blah, 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 he's like, yeah, he's born in the series before he shows up in the past. He had no one to really train him. Oh.
Was he? Was he born when he showed up?
Yeah, I'm watching it for the podcast. I'm trying to put together. But I thought Trunks shows up earlier in the series as a small child, which would be before all this, right? No. This movie seems like he has never really fought before. And because I remember him like Go Tanks and all that shit. But again, like, I'm not familiar with Dragon Ball. Okay. Like, I mean, as far as piecing all that together.
You seem to be confused at that there's timelines going on here. Because time travel.
Right. Well, that's it. Again, like, I've seen, like, I know the Go Tanks things happen. However, that couldn't have happened if everybody's fucking dead. You know what I mean? By watching the history of Trunks. Yeah. Everybody's dead. Yeah. Gohan dies. So it's like...
Spoiler.
Whatever. But... I don't know. Just shit did... So that's why I asked him. So shit didn't make sense. So... Yeah, he only showed up to train him. Who the fuck knows? So... Yeah, that happened.
So I started watching it. I want to say I was 12, maybe 13.
Really?
And it was on Toonami, and it was always on Toonami because they did like 5 episodes a night because they knew.
Well, they would run the series.
Yeah, there's not much content within 5 episodes. You know, like it's just charging up, and there's not much fighting. But I remember one day I was sick. Ooh, the rain's coming down. Mm-hmm. I remember one day I was sick and I stayed home and I just went, fuck it, I'll just watch this shit. I have no idea what's happening. I had no previous intro into anime at all.
Oh, really?
None. And I started watching it and I was laying there and I went through about, I want to say it was probably the Cell Saga, definitely after the androids.
Mm-hmm. Is Cell Saga after the androids?
Yeah, because Cell absorbs the androids to become his perfect form. Oh. Yeah. Right, see, I know my shit.
No, that's fine. No.
I think that's when I jumped in.
But see, that's the weird thing. Like, you say it, and I'm like, oh, yes, it's familiar. Yeah. But I've never sat and watched them.
Oh, you should.
You know what I mean? Oh, I tried to. I tried to. With kids, we started at 1. We made it about 6 episodes in, and then...
I don't know. I think the Saiyan saga at the start is a little bit of a slow burner.
It can be a little bit, but the story's really well. So it's not that bad. It's not dragging ass like
no.
I don't know. I can't even
The
think.
Boo
like,
saga
what's real
doesn't
talk.
drag ass at all.
Like
That's
when you get
just
the Walking Dead
nonstop.
episodes that just talk, or
Yeah.
like when you go through the comics and it's just talk. Like all of that's interesting to me, and it does. Like I think it's done well, but it is draggy. But I don't think Dragon Ball really has too many draggy episodes that I've seen.
The DMV one, the infamous DMV episodes where Chi-Chi makes.
I just watched that one.
Where Chi-Chi makes.
Actually liked it.
You actually like that one?
I'm not gonna say like I'm gonna put that on a top list, but
It's a top filler episode list.
Going through it, I wasn't just like, this is a waste. I did think like, when are they gonna do something?
To my knowledge, I think those episodes are made because they were flying out these animated ones, these episodes, and then they needed time for the comics to catch up because they were catching up quick. I think that's so they did filler episodes, DMV, this and this, just to give them a bit more time.
I don't know about all that.
Probably like One Piece as well,
because from what I was looking at, so I guess Funimation, whatever company, whoever has that
Funimation's the one that did the English dub. The English,
right, they did the English dubs, but so like the Android Saga came out in Japan, I think if I remember right, 95, and it wasn't dubbed until 2000.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm sure we had access to it somehow, but we didn't get it on television until 2000. So I don't know, like that's the part. So you're saying that there's 5 years where the comic wasn't caught up to where they needed to make a filler.
Don't quote me on that.
But it also goes, if you go to the website, it also tells you the issues that it was.
Yeah.
It tells you the manga. Yeah. The manga issues. Then the Japanese episode. The English episode, and when it came out. It also says something about Kai, which I don't understand. I mean, I know there's Dragon Ball Kai, right? Like, that's the thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's also another set of, I don't know if it's issues or numbers.
Okay.
Or issues or episodes. I didn't understand. I meant to go deeper into that, but I didn't.
Well, yeah, I meant to go deeper into something which I'll get to later, but I didn't have time. But no, I watched Dragon Ball Z as a kid. And then when my brother came home that day from school, I was like, dude, you got to watch this. This is just, it's a little, because it's, as I said, it's our first introduction to anime. So all the different little anime kind of things, I was just like, just leave it at that. But just wait until they start. It's badass.
So you brought it to his attention.
Yes. And then we watched all of Dragon Ball Z, and then we went back and on Toonami, they had the old Dragon Ball show with Goku as a kid and him growing up.
Never watched Dragon Ball.
I watched Dragon Ball
episodes, but
I watched Dragon Ball, and I didn't like the start, and then
that's one where he has a tail, right?
That's one where he's a tail, and I didn't like the start where he was a kid, like him as a kid, but I liked when he grew up a bit and he fought Piccolo towards the end of it, because that's when Piccolo showed up.
Right.
And there was more fighting at the end of it. The start was just like, oh, I'm a kid who's super strong, and it's like, okay, wacky adventure, this innocent kid, wacky, typical Goku running around being a wacky adventurous kid.
Right.
But so we all watched all the Dragon Ball, and then there was Dragon Ball GT, which isn't canon.
It's not.
It's not canon.
It's not an alternate
thing? Because it's not made by the same creator.
Oh.
It's made so
and that's the one in space that everybody hates.
Yes. It starts in space and then it ends back on Earth.
Oh, does it?
Because there's the Dragon Balls, and then there's the universe Dragon Balls that can, like, Earth is doomed or something, and the only thing that can like the Dragon Balls aren't magical enough to save them, but the universal Dragon Balls are, or something. So they go he gets transported into a kid and he goes across space looking for. That's when he turns into a Super Saiyan 4, but once again, not canon.
Really?
Yeah.
But there's Dragon
Ball. There's a new one now called Dragon Ball
Z
Super, or Dragon Ball Super.
Dragon Ball Super, yeah.
But
that's just being released right now, right? Or is that just
canon.
being dubbed right now?
I actually started that last night after I watched the movie. I watched the first 2 episodes. So that's canon on what happens after Boo, not GT.
See, that's what I got done. No. Well, because I looked up what episodes Trunks are in, so I was just going to do Trunks episodes. So
Trunks is your favorite character?
Which is a portion of the Android series, or the Android Saga.
Because there's different Trunks, because I like you, I like Cell Saga, Android Cell Saga Trunks, but I don't like Kid Trunks in the Boo Saga.
See, because they gave me the Android Saga, which is just Future Trunks.
Yeah, and then Future Trunks goes back home, which does he remember?
But does he come back at all in the Android Saga?
No, so he
showed
stays.
up,
He stays until Cell's done.
Until Cell Frieza.
Until Cell's done. Until they defeat Cell. So it goes Android Saga, and then
he comes in. He just told Goku, "Fucking
he
hey,
saves
guess what?
Goku.
That's my
he
pops.
helps fight. Yeah,
he's I'm gonna be born in 3 years.
No, he doesn't leave. He stays.
He left because he was like, "Hey, blah 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 blah. I'm gonna be born in 3 years, blah blah blah." And they're like, "Okay, we have 3 years to train before the androids show up." So I don't. Maybe he just goes to the other side of the mountain, but he leaves that. So for the 3 years, he's unaccounted for until he's born in present by Bulma.
Yes, Bulma and Vegeta's kid.
Yeah, so he's born.
Which I never got.
And that's when, I thought they were going to show some weird, not some sex scene, but some sort of connection. Because they had the bickering, So he then returns as an infant. But you're telling me that during
doesn't return. So,
he doesn't return. He becomes, whatever. But so you're saying in those 3 years, he's still on Earth?
To my knowledge, yes. Unless he came back, because he helped.
He's like, I gotta go. Yeah, no, because he said, I gotta go because my mom's worried about me.
Okay.
So he dipped.
So then he dipped, but I know that he came back, and he...
Well, that's what I'm asking.
He helped fight... Because I remember a scene, I need to rewatch, but I remember a scene with Trunks and Vegeta fighting in the training in the time chamber, where time is slowed down, where the deeper you go into the time chamber, the more time it is there, the less time outside. So they use it for training. Make sense? So
that's
deeper you go in, 2 weeks there is a minute outside. More. So they spent so long there training because Cell gave them a year. Because when Cell became his perfect form, he had the Cell games, just defeat me, and he said, I think he gave them, I want to say a year. They gave him a year to train.
So that all comes after the Android Saga.
Yes, because Cell needed to absorb the androids to become his perfect form.
Does Trunks return to help finish off the androids?
Because the androids don't get finished off except for by Cell.
Okay. So does he...
Which Trunks had no idea about Cell. Trunks only knew about the androids, as you could see from the movie.
Right. Well, that's plot holy. But, so he doesn't return. While they're fighting the androids, he doesn't return at all.
He's there, yeah.
Okay, in your opinion, he has not left Earth.
I don't.
But in the cartoon, does he show back after he says, "Hey"? After he has that talk back, he does show back up.
Yes.
Okay, so then his next, after the Android Saga, his next return to the Dragon Ball Z series is during the Boo Saga.
No, he is gone. Okay, so Future Trunks shows up, gives Goku his medicine. If you say he bounces, then he bounces. But then he comes back. He helps fight some of the androids. Kept seeing what's going on. He wants to see how Goku kind of handles it, because in the movie he gets told how great Goku is.
Well, because he has that. He goes and has his little talk with them.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to see how good you are. He goes with the sword, and he's just like...
And then he's fucking being badass Goku. Yeah. So he does that. He helps... He still trying to fight them, and then him, like everybody else, sees Cell. And they don't know what Cell... Like, he doesn't know what Cell is. He hasn't gotten that far in... fighting the androids, because I don't know where Cell was in the future, where Trunks is originally from, but so he definitely, because I remember a scene after Cell was defeated, him going back into his future, which is a paradox, because he shouldn't have been created. If he shouldn't be there shouldn't be a future Trunks if the androids and Cell was defeated. He should have just phased out of existence, but that's just a plot hole.
Right.
And we've been talking too long. We should get into the actual movie.
No, I mean, I don't think we've been talking too long. It's all relevant.
It's all relevant.
Ouch.
So, what did you think of Defiance in the Face of Despair, the remaining Super Saiyan warriors, Gohan and Trunks, the official Japanese title translated?
That's the official title of
Defiance,
the history of Trunks.
Defiance in the Face of Despair, the remaining Super Warriors, Gohan and Trunks.
Well,
did you like it as a Trunks fan?
No, I did. I actually did.
Yeah, you watched it, 8 times?
Well, paid attention to it twice, like fully. But no, I definitely enjoyed it. Like, I always enjoy watching Dragon Ball Z, but because I watch it...
The movies are better because there's not as much filler. There's more... It gets right down to the fighting.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what it seems. I mean, I ventured
into
a couple of the other ones, too.
It doesn't show how strong the villains are because, like...
Well, that's what the series does. The
series shows how strong these guys are, but the movie just gets like, oh, just assume they're...
It's kind of like getting like a triple length season finale or something.
Yeah.
Right. No, it was good. Like, it was interesting, and that's... I needed to go back to understand it. Because, I mean, like, I was wondering shit, like, everyone's dead, who's left? 13 years of no one to... so, like, Master Roshi... Like, I was wondering how come Master Roshi didn't fight, because isn't Master Roshi a trainer?
He's a trainer, but he knows he's not as strong as everybody else. He was surpassed a long time ago. Same with Yamcha and Tien.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's some things that I was wondering, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I was the same. So, yeah, because the movie explains that Goku dies. Like, this is a cold open, because it starts and it says Goku dies of a heart attack or heart disease, and then the androids came, and then Piccolo. Well, I've written down Piccolo was the first to die, which I didn't know this, but it answers a question that I didn't have. If Piccolo dies, Piccolo and I forget his name. Piccolo and another Namek share a mental connection, a psychic connection that with the other kid, that if the kid dies, there's no Dragon Balls on Earth.
And is that the little ant-looking guy?
Yeah, the other Namek, the other green. I forget his name now. Gosh, but if he dies, there's no Dragon Balls on Earth. So that means that answer the question didn't have. They couldn't wish Goku back. They couldn't do anything Dragon Ball-y.
Oh,
I was like, I didn't even have, because I was in my research. I was like, I didn't even have that question, but I feel like it answered something I didn't have. Anyway, so Piccolo died first. In this opener, it said Piccolo was the first to try, first to die. Vegeta died, then Yamcha, then Tien, and then it just cuts to Krillin was destroyed by both of them. It just cut. So they died. Yamcha, Tien, Piccolo, Vegeta all died fighting them one at a time, and then it was just up to Krillin, and he take them both on, and he got destroyed apparently.
Oh yeah, Krillin's. I mean, yeah, the only ones that can go Saiyan is Vegeta and Goku.
Yes,
and Kakarot. That's just his like birth name.
That's his Saiyan name. Yeah.
Oh, it's the same name. So Vegeta has a Saiyan name?
Yeah, Vegeta's Vegeta because he was on Saiyan long enough. He was he was on planet Vegeta long enough.
Planet Vegeta?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Planet Vegeta, and then his dad is King Vegeta. He's Prince Vegeta. It's like a royal name they're passing down.
So, but Goku, they're not related?
No.
Okay.
Because now this is what I found really interesting. So there was a bunch of Saiyans on Planet Vegeta that are the lower. So Vegeta and his father are the royal of this planet, and then the comet. They're a fighting race. They're like the Klingons. They're all like, yeah, we fight, we win, and shit like that. All the common people, all the lower level, non-royal, middle class, they all have Goku's hairstyle. That's why everyone has Goku's hairstyle. That's why Goten, his youngest son, looks like him. He looks just like in another movie about Goku's dad, who's a Saiyan, and about his little adventures. He also has the exact same hairstyle, not just because of genetics, but because apparently the middle class Saiyans all have that hairstyle. Because there's another movie about a different Saiyan, unrelated to anyone, but he looks just like Goku because he has that hair. And it's because the middle class Saiyans all share that hairstyle. Which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. So the title so cold open, everyone's dead.
Yep.
The title comes in, I wrote it down, 3 minutes and 47 seconds. That's a quick here, the android has killed everyone later, and here's the title of the movie. And then that they just do a 13 years later. They just cut right to it.
So
13 years later, the androids are so this was my big thing with it. 13 years and the androids are still destroying cities, right?
Right.
They're androids. They don't sleep. They don't do anything. Yeah, maybe they might spend a couple of years defeating all the Z fighters, but then they should just go on a...
Well, they wouldn't have a couple years defeating the Z fighters because they already defeated them when they first got there.
No, but like I'm trying to do the math in my head that maybe they hid, they trained, and then they came out and tried to fight the androids for a little while.
Watching the movie, like, they're obviously getting bored of what they're doing.
No,
like,
so there's one scene in the movie where Android 17 is blowing up a city, and he's just like, "Oh, 18, you should try this sometime." And like, it's been 13 years of destroying cities. Why is she not? She hasn't done it yet. So you think after 13 years, like, okay, also 13 years of androids attacks the city. The country, whatever country they live in, should be in a military state of wide panic, and they're just It looked like these androids just popped out yesterday, with the way these citizens are like, oh, androids are Bulma especially. I got so pissed at watching Bulma because when later on in the movie we see that Gohan is the last real fighter who's training and fighting the androids, and then he picks up Trunks and he takes him home to his mom, and Bulma's like, "Oh, hey Gohan, how are you? I heard you're single-handedly fighting the androids. That's like good for you." Like, you know, she's basically like, "Oh, I heard you're doing a master's in science. That's great." Like, it's the same voice. That I'm just like...
But they've also been living it with 13 years. I mean, think of, like, if there was a war going on, like, yeah, we're still going to have concern, like, oh, Matt, like, I really don't want you to go out there fighting. But if you've been doing this for 13 years, it's like, well, so how was the fight? Like, it's not that I'm going to, like, have a lack of concern for it, but no, it's going to become, like...
I have a theory on it, though. So, my theory is that Bulma has just become numb to death. Because she has been around the Dragon Balls since, because she's in Dragon Ball. And Goku, the original story of Dragon Ball are those two running around trying to find him and
Bulma.
Yeah, to find the actual Dragon Balls. And then other shit happens but these Dragon Balls, they can grant any wish. She hears a legend of it, and she does that. But my theory is that in this movie, Bulma is just numb to death because in the show, whenever anyone dies, people die, and then at the end of each saga, like at the end of Cell, they get the Dragon Balls, and they wish everyone, I wish the city and all the people in the city are come back to life,
right?
This and that. Now, if that's true, she doesn't have a view on mortality. She's just like, oh, no, did he die?
It can't be because
that's a shame.
Like you just said, like Piccolo's gone, so there is no wishing everybody back.
I know, but she doesn't know how to deal with that because she's just been so.
No, I mean, I think you're looking too far into that one. Like, it's
absolutely.
I think it's
too down this rabbit hole.
Well, no, it's. I think more so. It's just like it is. Like, okay, well, you're going to go out and fight again. Like, all right, that's cool.
So. The androids destroy one city with the announcer watching it, and everyone gets blown up. Do you remember that scene at the start? The first city. And then we see the androids in another city, and 18's trying on clothes, kind of being a bit human,
right?
Which kind of, you know, she's a little bit human, because she marries Krillin in the future of the Goku Alive timeline, because she comes back.
Yeah. I have a huge problem with time jumping storylines with anything. Like
once they introduce the idea of future Trunks, there definitely has to be a time jumping.
Well, yeah, no, but it's just like, it seems like with any time jump in any movie or series, you can always just go back and forth, because it's like, all right, so if he came back in time like that, okay, so you would have to wait whatever, those 13 years before he came back, or the 17 years before he came back and said something.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you're allowed to go back, like, why would it not just be why would it not just be that as the storyline?
Yeah. Oh, no.
So that's why the time, if it's like, oh, we're going to go back and kill Hitler, like, okay, so now we're going to go back and do it, but that's already part of history now.
Yeah.
Like,
don't focus on the time space continuum.
I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, so that at that point when they're talking about like, oh, I'm buying clothes, blah blah blah. Yeah. Like, that's when it occurs to me, I get that they're androids, so they're kind of emotionless or whatever.
Yeah. Because they say they hate humans later on towards the end of it, remember?
Right. But the reason why they went against their master was because they started getting feelings. Like, isn't that what it was? Like, they turned on him because they started thinking for themselves.
Yeah.
So there's basically already like Skynet. an emotion.
No, they just become Skynet, and they don't want to be controlled.
But their voice acting is so piss poor.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah, that's one of the.
And I even noticed that going back into the series, like with, what is it, 19 and 20?
19 and 20 is the one with the mohawk.
No. 19, I believe 19 and 20 is the old man.
Oh,
and
yes,
panda kabuki guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, their voice acting is piss poor as well. Which is really weird, because you go from the main characters who are so intense. Yeah. Like, even when they're just like, a bowl of rice. Yeah. Like, it's just like, I just grabbed your engine out of your car. But yeah, so they destroy the city, and what happens after that? That's when Gohan shows up.
Bulma and Trunks are driving around. They're going home from shopping or something like that. Mm-hmm. They're having a normal day because fuck it, androids have been destroying each city by city last 13 years. Might as well go shopping. Right. So they hear a broadcast over the radio, and Trunks is like, I gotta do something, and then flies away and flies and meets the androids. But then we also, in my personal opinion, we meet Gohan, future Gohan, in the most badass state he'll ever be in. Mm-hmm. Gohan, yes, maybe. So okay, I will come back at myself later for a second, but I don't think this is the coolest I've never really liked Gohan, mm-hmm. but this is the coolest I think I've ever seen him in any form, because when he gets older, he becomes, he's more of a scholar. Mm-hmm. He still kind of fights, which is kind of cool, I guess. Like nerds can fight, right. But he becomes a scholar. He becomes Saiyaman, which really pissed me off.
Does he become Saiyaman?
Yeah, because he just turns into
and shit.
He just turns into like a superhero. Because he can fly and he's somewhat powerful, so he stops crime, which I think is bullshit. But
and that's part of the Z series.
Yeah, that's during the Majin Buu phase. It's just a little side story. It's nothing to, right? Yeah, it's nothing to bring in or anything. But we see Gohan, and he's the one who's been fighting, and then he saves Trunks, and they run away, right? And then he takes Trunks home to Bulma, which I already said it on, but I have a line written down that Bulma said something like, Bulma comes home and goes, "Oh, it's nice to see you alive, son." Kind of like, mm-hmm. It's something my mom would say to me if I told my mom that I'm going out drinking. I'll be home later. She'd be like, "Oh, you're out drinking. Nice to see you alive." Ha ha ha.
I mean, but you have to kind of give the leeway there, because that kind of is their going out drinking, because all they've been doing since all this shit started was fighting. Like, that's all any of them do. But you have to, like, in my opinion, you have like that's just part of this cartoon or whatever the fuck, you know,
this world.
Yeah, it's just these people fight now because they're not humans. Now, if it was a bunch of humans doing it, then yeah, it would be a different perspective. Like I think because Bulma comes from Namek or she comes from Earth.
Oh, Bulma's an Earthling.
Okay, well,
Namek is Piccolo's people.
Oh, not Namek. What's
Vegeta?
It's just Planet Vegeta.
It's Planet Vegeta, and they're called Saiyans. Like
I thought
the race is Saiyans.
I thought there was a different name for their planet.
No, Planet Vegeta. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm 98% sure it's Planet Vegeta.
I want to say there was Namek was said, and then I want to say there was another planet that was not to be mixed up with where
they were
Goku
on Namek.
landed.
They were on Namek during the Frieza saga. The Frieza saga took place on Namek.
I have to look into it further. But okay,
I'm
so
right.
if Bulma's been around since whatever, like this is all she's seen. Like this group of people, all they do is fight.
Exactly.
And they
all
die.
she's seen is death, and people come back. She is numb to this.
No, I'm not.
To mortality.
I'm not buying into that because if that's the case, like look at everybody else who should be so numb to mortality, who lose their shit.
Krillin dies.
Like
all of them.
die.
Krillin should go insane.
Like
because
all of them die like every
dies.
other episode or every other saga or whatever.
Yeah.
And they still like no because they don't want to lose that person, whatever.
Yeah.
But Bulma, like, she's just a fucking idiot anyways.
Oh.
It's like just the way that she reacts. Like when you go back and look at it in the Android saga, she's like,
well, she's just
a
character
weirdo.
that's just been she's just been kept for plot holes. I don't know. I think she's cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I call her an asshole all day, but I mean, she definitely adds something to the series.
Yeah. So then, okay, so Gohan, so Trunks asks Gohan to train him. Because he wants to do something because he's still a Saiyan.
Yeah, this is before or after he loses his arm?
Before he does, he loses his arm in one of it. I'll get to that
because I noticed there's about 5 characters who have lost their left arm.
Was his left? Oh,
yeah, I looked at all of them. So Frieza loses his left arm.
When?
During that fight, during the Goku fight. Or there's at least a handful of shots that he's only like one-handed doing a bunch of shit. Or one-armed doing a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Goku loses his arm. Piccolo loses his left arm.
Yes, I do remember that. When did Goku lose his arm? He lost the arm, or it's like
did Goku
popped out of place?
Arm? No, I'm sorry. So Frieza, Gohan, my bad. Piccolo. And I want to say there's more missing arms.
Well, news to me. Maybe it's a whole armless thing.
I don't know.
Make what are they called? People without arms.
Amputees.
Make amputees cool.
You got to.
Yeah. Because later on, when he was fighting the android, he's fighting both androids at once with one arm and completely just.
Yeah, he does a lot better.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Trunks out there. Anyway, we'll come back. We'll get back to that. So then, Gohan's training Trunks. He's fighting Trunks, and then he kicks him into the ocean, and then we see that Trunks can't swim. He can fly, but he can't swim.
Yeah, he's got no need to swim. He's never practiced.
But why does he just levitate out of the water? Maybe is the water different?
Yeah, it's probably a panic. He's probably in panic mode.
You need to concentrate to know how to fly. Like, that's the whole thing. You need to get the chi energy inside you to...
He's in fucking panic mode.
No, man. No, not buying me.
Yeah.
Not buying me.
Hey, I'll sell it all day.
And then, coming back... I don't think Bulma is the only one in my little theory, because when it gets to Chi-Chi, she looks like she's a wreck in the movie.
Chi-Chi's,
Gohan's mom.
Gohan's mom.
Goku's wife. Gohan's mom. Yeah. But Chi-Chi looks like she's a wreck. Her hair is kind of like... She has one of those ponytails where they've been working all day and the hair's coming out a bit.
Yeah.
So she looks like she hasn't slept in so... Because her husband's dead. She has no idea where Gohan is. And then Chi-Chi's dad comes home with the shopping.
He's that randomly huge motherfucker.
He's a king of a tribe, and he's in...
the other movie.
Dragon Ball.
Yeah. Oh. He was.
If you haven't seen Dragon Ball, then you're right. No. He's just a character.
Just random huge kid. Chi-Chi's, she's human?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All the girls are human.
Yes. Yes.
There's not one female fighter.
Let me think about that.
I mean, outside of androids, but like in this core group throughout all the series, there's not a female fighter.
Let me think. Saiyan Saga, maybe in the movies, but not in the show. Saiyan Saga, no.
Thinking of random things. I've been explaining this a couple times and it never sticks.
Okay.
Popo? No, not Popo.
Blackface Popo?
No, not Popo. I know who Popo is. This little doll character.
That's a whole other episode.
Right. No. That's what I was trying to think of the doll's name.
Oh, Tien's buddy?
Yeah, he's like the little 1 foot nothing. He looks like he should be a plaything. He hangs out. I think he hides out behind Master Roshi's couch a couple times.
Yes.
What the fuck is he?
He, once again, Tien was originally introduced in Dragon Ball as well.
Mm-hmm.
I forget that storyline, but basically there was this tournament like in Dragon Ball Z.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the fighting tournament, and then Goku ended up to be the greatest fighter.
Yes,
and he fights, and Piccolo's the last fight he has in that one.
Mm-hmm.
He fights Piccolo twice. One older Piccolo, and then he releases an egg, and then Piccolo, and he becomes the Piccolo we know now.
Oh, okay.
Because it's an older King Piccolo, and then he Lord or King Piccolo.
What did I say, King? Now, just to go over this is all shit that the reason I'm jumping around so much is because as much as I enjoy Dragon Ball, I'm fucking clueless.
There is so much to it. Yeah. Shiatsu. Shia, is that his name?
Which should be covered throughout almost anything that we're gonna do on this show.
We can have our own Dragon Ball podcast. Probably.
I'm gonna say, I know about it, but I'm going to be fucking clueless.
Give me, yeah.
Like Star Wars. Go ahead.
I have to pee. So we were talking about.
So
you just being lost. So okay.
Just being lost on.
Yeah, no, Dragon Ball. If you ever do Star Trek, you're gonna get lost on Star Trek as well.
Well, I mean, anything like.
There is so much.
I'm gonna get lost on anything.
Just moving the mic a bit. Pardon. There you go.
Yeah. However you want to do
it. No. Yeah. Dragon Ball is very. It's a big universe. And then what's canon, what's not canon, movies and such. Yeah. So, where are we in the movie? Trunks is being trained by Gohan.
Yeah.
Sorry, as I said, wait. I never came back. Chi-Chi is also, she's a wreck, and then her father comes home, and her father's like, "Oh, I heard a rumor that Gohan's fighting the androids," and she's like, "Oh, is that true?" Same. I'm doing it again. They're completely clueless to the idea of death.
No, again, I'm gonna have to argue, and we'll probably have to just move on from this point and agree to disagree.
Because I'm not putting it away.
Well, no, you're not putting it away, and I'll strongly just hold to they might just all because in 13 years nobody else has died.
Well, that's the thing.
In their group,
13 years later,
everybody's dead already.
Do we know that everyone died at like one after another, like that day, or do you think maybe they, maybe Krillin was like, "Fuck, I need to start training," and
no, Krillin's not gonna do that because Krillin's so fucking irrational.
Yeah,
and they're trying to defeat the androids. So if any and go from what I can recall through any of the series, it's like it's such a weird thing. I mean, just like in the Android series, it's just like, guys, I know we're fighting and we hate each other, but let's friendly fly somewhere else to do. So you have a lot of like battle rules or rules of engagement or whatever the fuck it is that everybody seems to respect highly. To where it's like, okay, so you want to move over here to fight? Let's move over here to fight. Or I don't know. It just seems like they're all like on the same page when it's let's do something else with this. Yeah. But as far as like during the fight, it's we're here, we're gonna fight, and we're just gonna go. Unless somebody completely retreats, it's whatever. So with that, like the anger from Piccolo dying, he's the first one to fall. It's just fucking go. Like,
yeah,
they're weak. They should be weaker. Let's go through it. But throughout all these fights, do they know at the time that every time the android kills somebody, they're taking their power?
No.
So they have no clue. So
like the funny thing is actually,
well, but that's what they go about in the Android saga.
No,
because that was Goku got the fucking hand through him, and then he ate the fucking Senzu beam, and then it was I gotta tell them they don't know that the androids take their fucking energy level. You don't remember that part?
No.
Yeah, that's how they get more and more powerful.
I remember.
Apparently, but now I
remember that you can't sense the androids' power because they're androids,
right?
So they're like, I can't sense. You know the way they're able to sense people of different power levels,
right? That's why they couldn't find him, and that's why it took him forever.
Yeah,
that's why Gohan got in such a shithole fucking predicament because he's like, guys, watch out! There's these two creeps, and they're like, we're the creeps.
Yeah.
But yeah, once Krillin takes him back, he's like, yeah, they don't know, like they don't have firsthand experience that they take your energy level, like they absorb it.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but that's what it seems. But to go back, yeah, so they haven't had to deal with any kind of deaths for 13 years because everybody's fucking dead. We're gonna have to scratch that because I don't know where I was going with it.
Okay.
Just trying to pick it up.
Yeah, so the training montage is basically consisting of fighting and then trying to get Trunks angry enough to go Super Saiyan, because Super Saiyan is based on anger and kind of rage and emotion. It's an explosion of emotion because Goku went Super Saiyan after Frieza killed Krillin. Vegeta, when did Vegeta go Super Saiyan? I forget. They all went Super Saiyan because of certain events. Vegeta probably went Super Saiyan because of jealousy of Goku. You know, like it's all a big emotional thing.
Right. Well, Vegeta always wants to play catch up.
Yeah. Yeah. He's always just
That's
little
why
bit behind.
In his training saga in the Android series, it was he trained at 100 plus.
And he got.
I'm going to do 300 plus.
And then he got super muscly, which ended up. Because so Cell
probably raped Bulma.
Wow. So Cell.
Neither of them seemed happy about it.
Cell, when he was in his second stage, he was 3 stages, and when he absorbed each, when he needed to absorb one more, and then Vegeta he trained and he got super. When he powered up, he was super jacked, like super muscly, like his muscles extended, and he was convinced he was the most powerful. But then it cut to Goku saying, I could do that too, but the muscles get he's so big it slows him down.
Yeah. So
he doesn't want to be that powerful because he's stronger, but he's not as fast.
Strong as hell, but you can't wipe your own ass.
Exactly.
Right.
So in the Cell saga, Vegeta's fighting Cell, and then Cell's like, "Do you want a better fight? Because if you let me go absorb this android, I'll give you a better fight." And then he plays off of Vegeta's ego for wanting a better fight,
right?
Even though because he's called Perfect Cell, like the
final form,
because Perfect Cell is way stronger than Super Saiyan 1 Vegeta and Super Saiyan.
Now this brings me to a question: throughout all of this,
yes,
who is this? Okay, throw Goku aside because Goku is the strongest Saiyan, right?
Yes.
Now, out of anybody who's fought or any of that shit, who is the strongest?
Well, so okay. When are we talking? Because there's different.
Out of all the bad guys that they fight,
yeah.
Because Vegeta and that whole crew, which Raditz and all those fuckers, they have the little eyepiece, right?
Which becomes
just becomes obsolete
after the Saiyan stage, they become obsolete. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because it's over 9,000. That's the highest level they could reach on there.
So, Perfect Cell, is he going to be the strongest one, or is it?
Well, do you remember who defeats Perfect Cell?
No.
Oh, it's Gohan. It's Kid Gohan.
Oh,
Because Goku sends a power in him.
mm-hmm.
And so, do you know the different levels of Saiyans? Super Saiyan 1.
No, but I mean, it's when you hear that that certain noise is when they go to another level, right? Because you have the glowy noise, and then you have that weird like piercing.
So there's
Fucking-
Super Saiyan 1, which is blonde hair and kind of like a behind them.
Mm-hmm.
There's Super Saiyan 2, which was first originally reached by Gohan, not Goku. Goku knew that Gohan had this power in him, and he was fighting Cell, because during the Cell games he was fighting Cell, and then he was like, you know what, I'm done. Like, cool, that was a fun fight. Now if Gohan could please finish him. And then he reached Super Saiyan 2 first. And then they make reference back to it because in the Majin Buu saga, when Vegeta gets possessed by Bibidi, yeah, Vegeta gets possessed by Bibidi. He has the M on his forehead, and then him and Goku fight, and they power up. And then I remember Goku saying, "Good, we're both as strong as Gohan was when he was fighting Cell." So
Gotcha.
Yeah. So back to the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Trunks is trying really hard to go Super Saiyan. He can't do it, and then it cuts to the androids going to a carnival. Why is there a fucking carnival? As I said, this country should be in a military state. Everything should be closed. There should not be a fucking carnival.
Within the first,
you're attracting attention. You're
right.
gonna
Well,
die.
within the first couple years of any war, like it's going to be concentrated, but then it just becomes life. Like, that's all it is. Now, you're not going to go, like, if there's a big war popping off in San Francisco or whatever, like, on the coast, like, yeah, for the first few years, it's going to be like, guys, there's no need to do anything. Like, it's far too dangerous. But guess what? Let's go inland a little bit, or let's go, let's go 5 hours out from whatever the main war zone is. We'll have a carnival there. That way we'll try to bring some happiness or whatever the fuck it is.
No, man.
But the androids are...
Close the country down.
You can't, man. Germany didn't close the country
13, down. Yeah, but they... I'm not... Okay, agree. Another one we got to chalk up to agree to disagree then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at fucking Braveheart, man. They still celebrated. They were suppressed and all that other bullshit, and they were still, let's have our little parties, our little gathering.
Yeah, that was a great point you just made there.
I'm just saying, I was trying to bring it to, but I don't know Irish history. I was trying to bring it that. The best I got is Scottish, so you're just gonna have to intertwine those two.
Fine.
And pretend like they're the same thing.
So Trunks goes to the fair. The androids double team Trunks. And he's too weak. He can't keep up. He lands one punch, and they're pissed. And they smack him down, and they're about to blast him.
Is that when it's like, oh, he ripped your shirt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Gohan ripped his
okay.
shirt. That's the next fight. So Gohan, he lands a quick punch, which, whatever. They probably weren't even paying attention to such a low level of power. So he lands a quick punch, and then they smack him down. They're ready to destroy him. Then Gohan shows up, saves him, hides, and they're like, where is he hiding? Who cares? Let's blast everything. That's how Gohan loses his arm, and he gives Trunks the last sensu beam.
Right.
And then Trunks comes back to life, and then takes Trunks get his power back, and then he takes Gohan to Bulma, where they fix him up. And then so they fix him up.
That's when she says some bullshit about, oh, should I be shopping for one? Or that's way before.
That's bit before.
But this is... isn't that the part where they make some comment about yelling? Like, oh, did we get him?
Yeah,
and it's like, and no, because you would have heard a bunch of yelling.
But he's too tough to yell. They said, which evidently he was, because he just lost an arm.
Yeah.
And he was. So once again,
I just thought it was neat.
Badass Gohan.
I just thought it was neat that they kind of knocked themselves. Like, yeah, we get it. There's a whole shitload of yelling in any of these series.
Oh, you were looking at that?
Well, no, I saw that. I was like, it's cute.
Yeah. No, I get you.
Those are rabbit ears in the air. It's cute.
Yeah. So Bulma knows now that Trunks is fighting the androids. She, back to what I said, she probably doesn't really care.
Right. I agree.
Crap, my notes just went all the way up. So then we have, so there's one-armed Gohan now and Trunks who he still can't go Super Saiyan. They get note that the androids are attacking another city, and then Gohan's ready to go fight them by himself, and he says to Trunks, "I got to do it by myself because when you're there, you know, look at my no arm. That's what happens when you're there."
Right.
And then Trunks is like, "No, I'm stronger now." So in the small period, he's gotten stronger. No. So Gohan kind of tricks him and says, "Okay, cool, let's go." Knocks him out real quick, which I thought was kind of cool. Very Goku-like, you know, you know, because he's turning into his father a bit, but a bit more badass. And then,
but that's something you see across a handful of movies, to where it's like, yeah, come help me out. Whoops, just slipped you a Mickey. Now you're down.
Gun just no, like the back of a gun in the back of the head, you know.
Right. Yeah, you get hit from behind.
So Gohan goes to this city where they're all there. As I said at the start, 17's blowing up buildings, and then 18's like, "Oh, you're so immature." It's like, no, you should try this sometimes.
Right.
In my opinion, stating that has Android not been blown up cities, has it all been 17? Is he the instigator? And then Gohan shows up and just swiftly kicks him, like sends 17 flying, and then he rips his shirt, and then he gets pissed, and Gohan just fucking he takes them on with one hand, and he's like doing all just one hand quick fighting against. Which I thought was cool. As I said, most badass moment. And then he unfortunately dies because he can't keep up. But he's saying, he's doing like a Batman monologue where he's like, "If I die, another one will take my place." You know, there'll always be another when there's dicks like you out there.
Right.
That's not a direct quote, but
right. Yeah, it's if you defeat me, there'll be another. Yeah. Like another will come.
Hydra, 2 heads will take my place.
Yeah, well, let's not talk about Hydra.
So
Rogers.
Trunks shows up, gets super pissed. Sorry, wait. No, actually, I have this written down. When Trunks wakes up and finds dead Gohan, he shows up, and it's really, because it's raining and it's really beautifully animated. When Trunks shows up and sees his dead master, I was like, because you know it's a standard, I want to say early 90s animation, but this one was really like, it was wet. It showed like, you know, like maybe like,
well, with any of these animes, like it's I've said it to you plenty of times. It's just the lack of detail compared to what we're used to now. Like if you watch Pixar or something like this, like there's so much detail and so many different layers.
Yeah.
But in cartoons like this, like even going to like Ranma 1/2, like they just use like these stupid little lines. Like there's barely any facial expressions, but they'll put some stupid line on their cheek, and it's like, that fucking, like, that encompasses everything.
Yeah.
And it's just what they decide to pinpoint is awesome.
Yeah.
Like even the fight, I think the fight scenes in Dragon Ball is any of them are just so badass. Like,
no, it's true. That's how I fell in love with the show. The fight scenes are so great.
Definitely.
So Trunks gets the motivation to become Super Saiyan through the death of Gohan, which I guess, you know, like if anything's gonna do it, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because he's his new brother.
He's his only buddy.
Yeah.
For the most part, Trunks is a fucking shut-in.
And then, so he comes Super Saiyan, and then all of a sudden, 3 years later, and it cuts to what we believe now is future Trunks. Like it cuts, he's old enough now to be future Trunks, the one who goes back in time. He's that character now. Like,
and that's when he shows up with the sword, the inexplicable sword.
Well, I'll get to that in a second.
Go ahead.
My notes just keep going up. Oh wait, no.
That's why you need to go back to paper, man. That's I've got paper. Man. I've got pages. I've got it all right here.
Sitting on my phone.
I don't need to,
on my phone. While,
you know what? I almost bought you a fucking composition book, and I'm glad I didn't because you would have just fucking wasted it.
I would have used it as a doorstop.
You probably would have doodled. And you know what? I'm going
3
old
years
school.
later, and then Bulma has the crazy idea of going back in time, which it makes sense now that we watch it, but you can't fuck with the. You can't just, that's erasing reality. You can't just be like, oh, let's just go back in time. I get it. If the reality you live in sucks, you can try to change it, but how does Bulma know how to go back in time? That's what I want to know.
Well, but that's it. Like, I've got it down here. Like, the capsule never made sense to me, but it's her dad.
Her dad's who's the genius, yeah.
Is the one who does capsule, is in charge of that company.
Yeah, capsule.
So, she just knows that she can do it.
Fair enough. So she's trying to do it. She hasn't got there yet.
But she's been trying to do it since halfway through this movie. And Trunks just wants to fucking balls up. And
no, I don't think she started since the only reference we got of it was the 3 years later after Gohan died. He became Super Saiyan. 3 years later, he walks in. Mom, are you still on that crazy idea of time travel?
No, she mentions it before in the series in this movie. She's like, just go back and give him the antidote. Like, no, Mom, I can do it. Blah, blah, blah.
I think that's the 3 years later.
Oh, is it 3 years later?
Yeah.
I thought it was earlier in the movie.
No. So, 3 years later, and then all of a sudden, like, I wrote this down because it was the only town I could get the name of. I tried to get the name of other towns, but they were like...
It's all... Sun City's the main town, right?
I don't remember, but I remember I listened to it about 3 times. I'd go, oh no, I'm trying to, oh no, the town's under attack. And I went back and I couldn't find it. But this town, Bridgetown,
yes,
is under attack, and Trunks runs off to fight them with his sword. Now, his sword... I put my phone down, notes are down, because this is all off the top of my head. But there is a movie, a much newer movie than History of Trunks, like a lot of years later, the animation is completely different, where there is a warrior from space who shows up to fight another bad guy. Like he follows another bad... I forget the name. I think his name is Teedle or something.
Teedle.
I could be wrong. Someone correct me on this. But he befriends. So this is, young Trunks, young Majin Buu Trunks to become, that.
Majin Buu Trunks is Kid Trunks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he befriends Kid Trunks after the Cell Saga. That he's a kid now, and after this guy helps defeat the bad guy, he leaves. But he leaves Trunks his sword.
Oh.
Now, I don't know how that makes sense in the future Trunks timeline.
In this movie's timeline?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't know where that character came from, but that was like, oh, that's how he got a sword. Oh my god! But it doesn't make sense in the future Trunks. So I don't know if he made this sword himself to try to give him an edge up from the androids, but that's my knowledge on Trunks' sword.
It's like there's so many plot holes, but none of it seems to matter. Now, I haven't researched any of this or like looked up Dragon Ball plot holes and who's pissed off and who's not, who's crying in their fucking jammies or whatever. But it seems like when it comes to plot holes, like in Star Wars, people lose their fucking mind. Or Star Trek or whatever, people will lose their mind. Oh, fucking plot hole in this. I mean, even a fucking a regular ass movie, like if Rocky had plot holes, people would be like, ah, man, this fucking bullshit right here. But I've never essentially heard that, like talking to Albert or anybody else who's into Dragon Ball, that they're just like, oh man, fuck. It's just because like
people will
alternate reality.
People will make up off script shit that will connect it.
Right, but I mean, Doctor Who. Like, you can't have a plot hole because you're just like, different doctor. Whatever.
True.
And it seems that that's like the same thing for Dragon Ball, where it's just like, gonna have to live with it. Like, it's whether it makes sense or not, or whether I can fucking combat it or not, it is what it is. And it's really weird, like, that it's just blown over.
Yeah.
But it's fine. Like, I don't give a shit. I would like to know the full story of the goddamn sword, but
look it up. No, I'll look it up. We'll talk about it next week as well. But yeah, no, there's a future movie. I'll find the full title of it where some warrior comes in and then helps him out and then just bounces. But he befriends Kid Trunks first and then leaves a sword behind. Okay, so Super Saiyan Trunks goes to Bridgetown to confront them. Trunks realizes they are way too powerful and gets owned. Gets owned, plays hide and seek, where he's running around playing hide and seek, and then he's like, why are you doing this? And they said, because we are droids say that they hate humans because they are designed to hate humans. And then I wrote, what changed for Future 18 to get with Krillin? Like, why?
Well, they're just growing. Like,
I think 18 and Vegeta would make a good couple since, they're both powerful.
Well, does he end up with Bulma later on?
Yeah,
or does Vegeta end up with anybody later on?
Yeah, he's with Bulma, and then he has a kid with Bulma, and then in Dragon Ball GT they have a second kid.
But it doesn't matter because it's not canon.
It's not canon. So Trunks they fire all out of Trunks, and they presume he's dead. And then it just fucking cuts. Here's my first plot hole that I can't understand. It just cuts to Trunks in bed with Bulma taking care of him, which, they killed Gohan. Why didn't they stay and finish the job with Trunks? And also, did Bulma go get Trunks and carry him home?
What? Because Trunks just got
the
his
androids are just like shooting away,
right?
And then it just cuts to Trunks in bed.
That's one thing I didn't understand about the movie. It doesn't seem like Trunks is at all strong enough to take care of any of these people at any point. I mean, he learns to go Saiyan or whatever, but do you just get good at it? Like
getting beat up or fighting?
Yeah, he's good at getting beat up, but like once you go Saiyan, like you need to learn how to use those powers or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just fucking clueless. Like he just goes Saiyan because he gets angry.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all emotional, and becoming Super Saiyan is all based on rage and the ability to become Super Saiyan.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, no. So I'm guessing because I'm guessing he might be stronger than Gohan. That's how he survived. But he hid, and then Bulma picked him up, and he woke up with Bulma taking care of him, and then he just was like, "I'm ready to time travel." You're right. I can't fight them. Which, it makes sense.
Right.
Plan B time.
Right. You have to nut up and say that's enough.
Plan B, and then he goes back, like he says bye to his mom, and he goes back in time, and then I like how it showed in the credits. It reminded me how Trunks showed up. This mystery fighter showed up and just destroyed robot Frieza.
Uh-huh.
And I remember that I was like, that's badass. And that's when you're like, this is one of my favorite characters, I think.
Mm-hmm. Now, for some reason, after seeing it so many times, the ending, I don't remember the ending.
You don't remember the ending?
No. I have no fucking clue why.
Oh.
But I have no.
So
the ending is just the under credits to where he goes back in time, and then it doesn't show him like defeating the androids. It just back in time because
this
then
movie
Goku
was made to show the filler on why Trunks went back in time.
Got you.
So you can go back, and then you go back and you watch.
So you would do somewhat what I did is watch the history of Trunks and then go back.
Yeah, if you want a from Trunks perspective.
Gotcha.
Experience.
Mm-hmm.
You go back and you start when Trunks first showed up with Frieza and Frieza's dad.
Yeah, what is King Cole?
Is that his name?
I believe so.
So there's Frieza, there's Cooler, his brother.
Is Cooler his brother?
Yeah, there's two movies about Cooler.
Right. No, I remember Cooler. I don't remember enough to associate it.
I'd watch that.
Because in the Android saga, he's traveling with his dad, and he's just like
to come to Earth.
Goku fucking kick my ass.
Yeah, Daddy, come help.
Yeah, and then King Cole, he's big enough to seem like a badass, but he seems easier to take down than Frieza did.
Yes, because Trunks was so powerful.
Okay.
in comparison, because no one cares about Frieza anymore.
Gotcha.
Because he's
he
not
already had
powerful,
his
because he
saga.
did no time training,
Right.
and the rest of them have been training non-stop.
I've never liked the voice of Frieza.
Oh yeah, I always thought Frieza was a girl for the longest time.
I did too. I remember first watching it, I was just like, Frieza's
A really
girl?
angry bitch.
Yeah.
But Resurrection F is a good movie. I would suggest watch that.
That's a movie.
Yeah.
What movie? I watched another movie. The following one was, I think it was about Goku's dad.
Yeah. Bardock,
yeah. And then Dead Time or Dead... I can't remember. There was another one. I watched or I played video games and listened to a couple of them, but I didn't retain much.
Some movies are really good. The Broly's really good. The first Super Saiyan, the legendary first Super Saiyan.
I want to say I watched or I listened to that.
And there's
one.
like there's 3 Brolys, but the first 2 are only good. The third one's a Bio Broly, robot Broly, which fight Goten and Trunks.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so you liked it? Because I
did.
It.
I mean, it's Dragon Ball, and
I
I enjoy it. A lot of animes I just enjoy. Like I couldn't
I'm not
tell
a
you
big
why,
anime,
like,
but I just love Dragon Ball.
Really?
Maybe
You're not a
because
big anime
there's
person?
So much continuity. There's so much content.
Oh, it's insane. Like how in depth they go with it.
And the more you watch, the more rewarded you are. Because you were like, "Who is that big fucker who teaches that?" Like, he's a king of a tribe and from Dragon Ball, and he was once considered super strong, and now he's another Yamcha. Wolfang
Yamcha.
fist my ass.
Yamcha's not the little fucking...
Yamcha's the guy with the claw mark on his face, the kind of scar, and he always has a ponytail.
Right.
Friend of Tien.
Wait, so Yamcha was the first one to die. Yamcha got the fucking...
No, Piccolo was the first one to die, then Tien.
No. In the Android series. Yamcha was the one who got the hand through the fucking chest.
Probably,
Yeah, because I don't think it was Gohan was still a kid then.
I just can't imagine being...
That's okay. I fucked that one up.
A low-level fighter in the world of Super Saiyan 3 where you could fly around and have the ability to shoot things down and stuff.
The Android series, Goku went 3, no?
No, Goku went 3 with Boo.
So Goku only went 1 in the Android series.
Goku only went 1, and it was
He got cancer fired.
Who went to 2.
And that wasn't until way later.
Until he fought Cell, yeah.
Because they made that noise a couple times.
See,
when
okay,
Goku,
so there's
when
Super
after
Saiyan
they
1,
landed and they started fighting.
Okay, the visuals of Super Saiyan 1 is blonde hair and a...
The aura.
Aura.
Right.
Super Saiyan 2 is blonde hair, a bit more aura, and some lightning. Blue lightning around it. 3 is the long hair. The long down your back hair with no eyebrows.
No eyebrows.
Yeah. To my knowledge, there's only 2 people to go Super Saiyan 3 in canon.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Gotenks and Goku.
The thing that I dislike the most about
is that his name?
Trunks.
Is that his name? Gotenks?
It would be Gotenks because Gohan and Trunks go together.
Okay.
When they do that. And that's what I was going to say is that's the only thing that I dislike about Trunks is when he goes Gotenks, how they do that stupid finger touch thing.
Oh, the fusion dance?
I just don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't know shit about the dance. I just don't like
Neither did Vegeta, but he did it anyway.
Well, I mean, if Vegeta's got to do it, he's got to do it.
Yeah.
Like, he's gonna try to one-up everybody. The dance is just...
Even though it doesn't make sense because him and Goku are on 2 different power levels.
Now, let me say something about this. The music in this movie is great. Like, well, not all of it, because I've got something here saying that there's like a pseudo Pink Floyd "Hey You" kind of song that happens, and it's kind of corny, but it works. But it's just like the music they choose. It's like almost Dream Theater. You listen to Dream Theater?
Yeah.
It's like that, where it's like it's double bass heavy, but it's not fucking chuck 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 chuck. It's fucking...
I get you.
It's put together really well.
Yeah, no,
and
I understand.
Like, it's really weird that it works. Just, like if you watch, which I would like to watch and do a back and forth on, is the Street Fighter movie. Not the fucking
Jean-Claude Van Damme?
No, not the movie, not the live action. But if you watch, I believe it's Street Fighter 2, the animated movie.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever seen that?
No.
It's amazing. It's good, but it mixes like Street Fighter 2 and Super Street Fighter 2.
Okay.
Because Cammy's in it.
Yeah.
DJ's in it. But that movie's awesome. Now the end credit is like Bison's driving a semi trying to run Ryu over, I believe.
Yeah.
But then it just kicks into like Korn, Blind. And it's just what I'm trying to get at is like the use of the heavy metal music, whether it's American or not, because like the Japanese do. I think they do a great version of their heavy metal shit, but for some reason throwing that into certain animes like this is like it fits really fucking well, especially the Dream Theater feel, even though it's not like heavy metal, but it has like the same drum patterns. For some reason, it just works. Now, I'm not going to say you can take Dream Theater and throw it into fucking Lupin.
Yeah.
But, you know, it works. Yeah, I just really enjoyed when they had music playing in the background. Like, I think it worked really well.
Okay. Well, we can do Street Fighter 2 next week.
Street Fighter 2 would be great.
The animated movie.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
I've never heard of it. I would have to double check it.
Send me a link, and we'll have the official title next week.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah, we can totally do that. I think it's good.
Do you have any final notes?
Final notes. I think we touched on everything. Again, like a lot of my notes are just shit that going back and watching a couple of the sagas or
definitely
like
makes me want to
makes sense. Because it, you know, the only other thing is like, so over these 13 years, it seems like Gohan, like he's been fighting him. It seems, but it's kind of like at his own leisure. So it's kind of like, does he really give a shit, or doesn't he? Like, I know he wants.
Well, maybe he knows he's not strong enough, so he's only jumping in and jumping out. Because remember when he hid with Trunks and he losing his arm, the guys were like, "Oh, he got the dip on us again." Like, this isn't his first rodeo hiding. Right.
And then you're right, but it's cool because now I can edit it out. Oh. What else? Oh, okay. So you're gonna go get a Dragon Ball Z tattoo. Let's just say.
Got it.
What are you getting? You're not gonna get a scene, but you're gonna put one character on your right arm, and you're gonna put a second character on your left arm. What are you putting? You're putting a good guy on one side, a bad guy on the other side. What are you doing?
Ooh, that's a good question.
You're goddamn right. It is.
Like that?
Not so much so you can put them together, but like right here.
Oh, shoulder on shoulder.
Yeah, like on the upper arm, the bicep area by the shoulder.
I want to say Kaioken Goku versus original Saiyan armor Vegeta, because that is back to basics. But I honestly didn't like that Saiyan saga a lot.
And that was in the Z series.
That was at the start of that was the first introduction of Vegeta when he came to Earth and he fought looking for Kakarot and he fought him to know who's better. And then because Goku,
and that's just Goku in the gi.
Because Goku died fighting Raditz. And then he got trained by the Elder Kai and he learned Kaioken. The red, or it's like going Super Saiyan, but you're going super red. It's like a rage where you get all your power out at once, and that was history wise. That's like when Dragon Ball Z went badass, right? Because that was the first like, oh shit, look at these two godlike creatures fight, and then it just got better, you know. So, but I want to say,
but that's Goku just in the orange gi.
No, well, worn, torn, and topless. So he's
okay. So he just said bottoms, okay.
But
and then Vegeta's in his standard blue and fucking
Saiyan
bullshit armor
with the shoulders and stuff. Yeah.
I want to say mostly what he's wearing, but I've never been a fan of that.
Well, it's armor. I want to say that, but I don't think I'd get that because, as I said, I don't like. Right. I'm gonna say Super Saiyan 2 Goku versus Majin Buu powered Vegeta, because that was a time where Vegeta was so desperate to be as strong, he allowed himself to be possessed by Bibbidi, and he became Majin Vegeta, And then Bibbidi tried to control him, and then Vegeta was like, "No, fuck you! You gave me this power. I just want to beat Goku."
Right.
And he showed up at the fighting tournament, and he blew up one side with his power. He blew up one side of the audience to basically say, "I'm not fucking around. You fight me, and or I'll kill more civilians." And he was like, "Cool, let's fight." And it was an amazing fight because everyone else was too busy trying to figure out what Bibbidi's plan was. Bibbidi was his dad. Bobbidi and Boo. Yes. So Bobbidi.
There's three of them: Bibbidi, Bobbidi, and Boo.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Boo was the pink guy.
And Majin is just
Majin Bibbidi, Majin Bobbidi, Majin Boo.
okay. Majin is just a title or something.
I'm pretty sure.
That's why they had the M's.
Yes.
Okay.
So when they were off trying to make sure Boo doesn't come alive, they were like, "Where's Goku?" Oh, because they used Vegeta as a distraction for Goku, which just totally worked. And I remember that fight scene. That was probably one of the fight scenes that made me fall in love with the show ever so much, even though there was so many other great ones before that as well. But if I was to get a tattoo, it'd be Super Saiyan 2 Goku, Majin, Vegeta at 2 equal power levels about to fight.
Yeah.
Nice. Majin dead, Vegeta's dead. He got brought back. He has a little halo on him.
Oh,
yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice.
What are we clocked in at?
I don't know. I don't have times on this. I mean, we're in the 2900th measure.
Oh.
On a 120 BPM.
Oh, cool.
Thing, but it doesn't do a runtime.
Apologies for the big download.
No, I mean it'll be shaved down a bit.
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
It's definitely made me want to watch Dragon Ball.
I'm going to continue watching. I mean, I'm going to finish the Android series.
Yeah. And
then I'm going to probably jump right over to the Boo series, just because
You're not going to watch any Cell.
It's not that I'm not going to watch any Cell. It's from what I googled. I just want to see Trunks episodes.
Well, you're not going to like Kid Trunks. Kid Trunks sucks.
Well, I like Trunks, so I want to see Kid Trunks.
Sorry.
And that's, whatever. Now, I would, if I'm going to go tattoo, like, I'm going to get Trunks, like.
Just nonstop Trunks?
Well, I mean, it's not that Goku's not there or whatever, but now Trunks will go Saiyan 3, right?
No.
I want to say I've seen a long hair Trunks.
Because he's had long hair. That's why.
Just long hair?
He's had long hair, and then he went Super Saiyan.
Long fucking Sonic the Hedgehog hair?
No, he had, after, God, I'm going real nerdy here. After him and his dad trained in the time chamber, he came out with long hair to show how long it was. And then when he goes, so he has long hair down to his like nipple and shoulder, which he ties back in a ponytail, and I think it looks badass. But when he goes Super Saiyan, it goes up. His long hair goes right up.
Okay.
In a kind of antler style fashion. Do you know, like Vegeta's hair is straight up. This kind of goes in like an antler, kind of like a tree forming up.
Okay.
And yeah, it's just because he has long hair. That's the only reason. He's not 3.
There's a picture I have in my head that actually reminds me a lot of Sephiroth from Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
That it seems like, I mean, that pictures of Sephiroth seems very intense, but to have Trunks in that, like, it seems a bit more intense. But yeah, so I would do Trunks. I don't know who I would do for the enemy. I wouldn't know. Last thing that I can think is plain and simple: removing Goku and Vegeta from the scenario. Best fight to happen, whether it's enemy, good guy. Best fight, and who's coming out on top?
Like in canon, or am I making up a fight?
I mean, you're using the characters. Like, you're not going to go. I'm not best fight that happened on the show, but with you gather,
if you're playing a video game and you want two people to fight,
you can put these two together, and make them go at it for fuck the reason. It doesn't matter. Just you've got control. Who's going for it?
Oh, Tien and Yamcha.
Doing Tien and Yamcha.
Yeah, battle of the weakest.
Is it?
Or Krillin, actually, 3-way.
Krillin would have to be referee because he's just going to die. You can put him against fucking Popo, and Popo's going to kill him.
Hey, Popo trained Goku at one point.
Well,
Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball, watch it.
No, I've seen a little bit.
Dragon Ball 1.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That would not be an interesting fight, but yeah.
Would be because
It
you'd be like,
wouldn't.
oh, these people are so strong. No, they
it's
just
like
suck.
watching. It would be like watching infants fight.
No,
It'd be cool, but
these
I wouldn't
guys
fucking
can
record.
fly, and Yamcha
Doesn't
has Wolf
matter.
Flying Fist. Tien has the Tri Beam he uses, and Krillin has Destructo Disc. 3 of them coming out. Yeah, I know. I know.
I don't know the names of any of their moves
I know my shit.
except for the Kamehameha.
Kamehameha.
Kamehameha. The Kami is.
Yeah,
Is that what he says?
They say Kamehameha, but it's called the Kamehameha.
Oh, okay.
Duh.
Whatever. Again, I
So
watch
next,
it, but I don't know.
So next week, Street Fighter 2. This is a world that I don't know. I
Street
don't
Fighter
know
2?
Street Fighters.
Really.
Yes.
Mm.
So this is gonna be new to me, and I'm gonna have a lot of questions. I
Oh.
need you answer.
Did you ever play any of the video games?
Not much.
The Dragon Ball video games?
Yes,
They're fucking amazing.
a lot of them.
A couple of them suck. I played Dragon Ball for Super Famicom.
I want to play the new
Sucked
one.
balls.
Xenoverse.
It was all in Japanese.
Yeah.
Sucked ass. Couldn't fucking, like, we could hit each other, but we had no clue what we were doing. But I played some of them, I think, PlayStation 2. Very good. Budokai.
I played Budokai.
Played the first Budokai. Amazing. I didn't like the walking around part so much, but the fight scenes,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Dragon Ball video games are very good.
Definitely. Gonna have to pick
The
some
new
of those
one
up.
has its own little story about time travel and stuff, about guys who want to go back in time and beat the timeline. So if you ever want more time travel shit,
I mean, I'll do it.
Xenoverse 2. That's where it's at.
I'm gonna go get my, as soon as I get it, I'm gonna go get my PlayStation. And when I go get my PlayStation, I will find the most inexpensive Dragon Ball game.
Well, no, and I'm now watching
Dragon Ball.
I'm now watching Dragon Ball Super. So
Maybe I'll pick it up. I don't know.
yeah.
But yeah, so that's it. History of Trunks.
10 out of 10.
10,
8 out of 10.
I'm gonna give it high scores. Definitely.
High scores.
Definitely. If you haven't seen it, I would definitely watch it.
Mhm.
I would also doesn't matter. I don't know that word. I would definitely watch it and then go back watch the Android series. The Boo series is up to you. It's Kid Trunks. I guess it's supposed to be stupid, but the entire Android series, not just 118 through 125.
So
Those the episodes that Trunks in.
Oh, wow.
Actually, I
Oh.
think Trunks is not in one. I think it's 118 to 122. Trunks is in.
just dropping knowledge.
That's the search results I got when I said what
What episodes is
what
Trunks in?
episodes is Trunks in.
Yahoo answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yep,
All right, call it.
cool.
Time of death.
Time of death. Get off my porch.